Hello everyone and welcome back to the Dream Saga. My name is Cody, and this week we are actually doing a review. It's going to be a little quick review of the Chargemander, but this is actually the Chargemander version 2. So this is actually an improved version from the one they originally sent out after the Kickstarter ended. So what's changed? Not much on the outside. The inside itself stays roughly the same. The one thing I will say is that the coating on this guy does feel a lot more premium, so it does actually feel a little better on the edges there. I did, to test this as much as I can, I accidentally scuffed it, so it is just a coating on the outside. I am sorry, Go Toro. I did buy this by myself. I pre-ordered it months and months and months ago. It finally came back in February. I was so excited. I did a first impressions video, and this is actually a review just because I did send and have them exchange the first version. It was one of the first off the line. The battery had just an issue with the actual, it just wasn't holding as good of a charge, and so I contacted them. They let me replace it, and so they sent me the second generation, which actually thankfully got to me a whole lot quicker, so it seems like everything is going a little faster. When it came down to the door, so when I first got the Chargemander in the original video, and it should be going on behind me, or at least little snippets, the door itself was kind of floppy. It felt good, but it was a little floppy. Now you have a very, dense hinge, and so it actually feels like it could hold itself up. I know today, to test this guy out as much as I possibly could, I was actually holding it just like this for a lot of the live stream that I did, just to see if this thing could maintain a charge under some sort of stress. Now when I say stress, I was using Verizon's LTE. Not sponsor. I was using Verizon's LTE and the St. Louis Zoo's Wi-Fi, because they have Wi-Fi across the park, to live stream to my personal Facebook page. I was originally on my Dream Saga page, but the connection, at least at the zoo, is terrible. The only real person I know of that has decent connection, which is the only place in the city that gets decent connection, would be Sprint, and I just don't have Sprint, and I also just don't like Sprint that much. But that whole aside, this guy was able to hold up fairly well. I did about a 30 to 40 minute live stream to Facebook, and my battery got down to about 50%. I kicked the Chargemander on, which it is dead right now because I've been using it a lot today to actually test it so I could tell you what was going on. With streaming HD video to, or at least as best it could, to Facebook while traveling to different hotspot or different Wi-Fi locations. Sorry, there's a lot of rain going on outside. You might have heard that. We got to the zoo at the perfect time. But traveling across the zoo, hitting different Wi-Fi spots, and just streaming the entire time, my battery was from 50%, actually got up to 55% by the end of the live stream. So this actually was able to maintain and actually put a charge onto the battery while I was using it. Which speaks wonders to the actual charging capabilities of this guy, because a lot of third-party chargers or just stuff that you buy off the internet may not have a decent power source, or at least a decent power source. When it comes down to that, I do actually really enjoy the fact that I was able to charge said device and actually keep it going while doing something strenuous. My phone actually wouldn't let me activate the flashlight because it said it got too hot, because I was doing so much at that time, but thankfully it just took a moment for it to actually flip over, and it was fine. With that, would I recommend this guy as something where, it's huge? This is a 7+ inside this thing. This thing is giant. It does fit in my pockets, thankfully, so I don't have any issues there. The thing does charge really quick. I cannot say enough about that. Button placement is great. You've got your buttons on each side. The one issue that I did have, which actually seems like it resolved itself as just using it more, was the up buttons seemed to get stuck every once in a while. But like I said, as I've started using it, it seems like that has actually worn down a little bit, or has just gotten used to it, has broken itself in. I don't know. It's kind of like a pair of shoes. They feel different when you first put them on, but they start to get pretty comfy later on. The button, same as before. It is just a nice little button there. The 3 LEDs indicate your battery life. So when I was done with the zoo, I was down to the yellow and red. I used it quite a bit after that, and actually managed to kill it. We went to the zoo at noon. We were done by 2, and I continued to use it to play 3 games. So I played a little bit of Pokemon Go. I'm also a really big fan of the Trailer Park Boys. I think it's called Greasy Money. It's basically, if you ever watch the Trailer Park Boys, it is a series on Netflix right now that follows 3 friends in Canada, and they live in Trailer Park, and they get up to a lot of antics. But in that, they create a lot of like businesses and like pseudo businesses. And so, in that sense, you actually can manage and build on those and collect money. And it has little snippets from the show and the little cartoon. That's a lot of fun. I've been playing that a lot. The other one is Legacy of Discord, which is kind of a, I would say it's most likely like a Diablo clone. It's really good. It's got a lot of online features. I don't play online with other people. I do have a guild, but that's mainly just so I can collect free stuff, because you get like coins every day for that. So with that, I played all of that in the span of a day, and I just killed it about an hour before I started recording this, and it's about 8:30 now. So I killed it about 7:30. So it went good, almost charging continuously for that time. My phone right now is at 92%. So with all of that use, and I did turn it off periodically just because I was like, cool, I'm at 100, and then let it go down, then back up. I would say anywhere between 100 to 150% added onto my phone battery today, which is incredible. This thing has a 5,200 milliamp battery, where my phone has a 2,900 milliamp battery. So you can at least get one full charge and then some. With the amount of pressure that I put on it, the fact that I got at least 100% today is phenomenal, because I know at least twice, if not more times today, that I got down to 50 and I kicked it on and it went straight back up to 100. With it charging, though, I would say once I got done streaming, I took a couple pictures and kept it charging in my pocket. It went, I would give it probably about half an hour to do 50%, which isn't terrible. The fact that my standard power brick for my phone can do about the same. So it does pump in the correct amount of charge. Do I recommend it? Yeah, definitely buy it. You're going to get a lot of fun out of it. I know that they are slowly improving on more and more things. If I were to give some feedback to GoGoToro, because I'm sure they're watching, they sponsored this video, so I do appreciate that. I did buy this on my own, but they have been so gracious to share the love and share feedback for myself. So I do appreciate them reaching out like they did. So thank you. If I were to share some feedback, seat the phone a little deeper if you can, or just make the door a smidge thinner. Why I say that is because when my phone sits in here, and it sits in here nicely, it's snug, no issue, I have a screen protector. The door doesn't like to lay flat with a screen protector. At least the 2 versions that I've had don't like playing so hot with a screen protector. So I would love some screen protector love there, just because I do prefer having some sort of scratch protection. I know it's not going to protect against dents, drops, or anything like that, but I would like it. The other side there is they've actually added a magnet to this guy, so it actually helps hold the door closed, which honestly, it probably didn't need it, just because they did tighten this, at least for my model, they tightened this hinge quite a bit. So I want to thank GoGo Toro for providing such a great service. They have been great with reaching out to me when I've had any issues with these guys, which thankfully it was just that first model that I had an issue. This guy has been holding up nice and strong, and that's where I'm at. If you have any questions, please put them down in the comments below. I'll make sure I put GoGo Toro's website in the description. And yeah, this was just my little, like, hey, I've actually been using this thing. It is pretty fun. It hasn't changed much design-wise. They have adjusted quite a few things. I think the only other thing they adjusted was it no longer has a little clip right up here that might break. And so they're really counting on that magnet holding it nice and closed. So, my name is Cody. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you guys next time. And like always, bye.